Hickok 45 here. Got me an iron frame Henry rifle. I bet you didn't even know they existed. Well, I sort of did, but I was surprised by this one. A distant relative of mine just sent it to me knowing I was a gun guy. It apparently belonged to my great-great-grandfather who used it in the Civil War, and they found it in a house in a trunk as they were cleaning out this old house. Didn't even know it was up there, and all they did was wipe it off. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I mean, look at the condition of the thing. I've been looking for ammo though. It says what, 44 rimfire on the barrel, and I can't find any at Walmart. I've checked all the Walmarts in Tennessee. No 44 rimfire. Did you fall for that? You probably did, some of you. Actually, this is a new one, and it is not made by New Haven Arms, who made the first ones. This one is made by Henry Repeating Arms out of New Jersey, believe it or not. This is what they call a military style assault rifle in New Jersey. We call it a Henry, and it's a fine rifle. So all joking aside, we appreciate Henry Repeating Arms sending this. They started making these with the iron frame. Okay, want to know if we wanted one? I said, yeah, there's really no competition for this. We'll take it. John doesn't have one. I have one. He doesn't. That's not fair. So now he will have a Henry rifle. So not a big market for these. There's who else makes one? Birdie maybe, I don't know, but they're about the only game in town, and it is American made. It's pretty cool that they make this. I have bragged on them before, how wonderful it is that we have American companies, you know, making replicas for a change of something, you know, like this. So pretty cool. We appreciate them sending the firearm. We will get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and we will share it with you every chance we get. How's that? So pretty cool. They're not cheap, as you know. These are different from the other line of Henry rifles. Okay, there's just hardly anybody that makes these, which is one reason we can accept it. There's no competition really. These take a lot of handwork, and they start at $2,000 and on up. You know, depending on whether they're engraved or what, how they're. I think the MSRP on this one is $2,600. You probably get it for closer to $2,000. I don't know. But it's an interesting firearm, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. We don't know a whole lot about the iron-framed Henrys, and so that tells you I probably know nothing if even the experts don't know too much. So let's take it over and take a look at it. And as I do that, let me thank our sponsor, Iron Frame Henry. This one is just like the brass frame Henry, except quiz time. What's the difference? Yeah, iron frame, okay, iron butt plate, and loads the same way. You know, of course it's not loaded. I've been messing with it here and checking on and all that. But you bring this up, turn that over, and you slide the rounds in. So we'll slide some of these Buffalo Cowboy rounds in. And again, you don't want to angle it too much. Have rounds going off. It'd probably take a lot to make them go off like this, because these are flat nose, as you can see. And that's why that's a perfect round, you know, for a lever gun. That's what I load for my lever guns. Well, even my pistols. Doesn't matter for a revolver, but I load that particular bullet in all my 45s, 44s too these days, because it might as well, in case you're going to fire them in a lever gun. So the iron frame, like I said, there's not a lot known about them. They, best I can figure out, is that they made under 400 of them. I think the highest serial number anybody's been able to locate is like 355 or something like that. So the estimates are somewhere between 200 and 400. They're just not sure. All right, and I think we're sure they made them early on, and they made them at the same time alongside they were making the brass frame, and I think that some of them even had the same serial numbers. So you got that kind of weird thing going on, and that's probably one reason you can't account for all of them. Along with the fact that who knows where they all might be. Usually in the Civil War, in a ditch somewhere, been buried for, you know, 150, 60 years. So, but anyway, there's a few of them around, and they are considered, as you might imagine, extremely collectible. Extremely collectible. I was reading something that said, I forgot where I read it, that the iron frame Henry is one of the most collectible and most desired firearms, you know, out there, and that may be true, but now that's talking about the value, right? The value, and it's because they're rare. So Some people prefer the iron frame. I've always kind of liked them. In fact, I came close my very first Henry like 20 years ago, maybe, at a gun show. I saw a guy carrying a U-Birdie around with an iron frame, and I'd always wanted a Henry rifle, and he wanted more than I could pay at the time. But I like it about as well as the brass. I'm not sure. It's kind of a toss-up. They're really neat in their own ways. And of course, the iron would be a little stronger, I guess. But it's the same gun. And as I say, there's not many of them made, and it's kind of a mystery. I read that it's really thought by experts that the New Haven Arms Company that made all the Henrys, which is the first company that Winchester owned, it's really Winchester, the predecessor to Winchester repeating arms, but that they actually farmed out these receivers and the butt plates to Colt maybe, or another company. They weren't set up, didn't have the machinery to make them out of steel or iron. So people just aren't sure. Isn't that interesting that we're not even sure about that? Now, somebody might be. You might have done some reading and have determined that there is more certainty. But anyway, it's the same gun, and it is a Henry. 4440 is the cartridge. And why don't we just start out on the gong? I think it's worthy of that. Yeah, feels good. I'll go to the red plate. Yeah, it's a real New Jersey assault rifle. I guess they get tired of those jokes up there. We'll try that little red plate. Let's really see if it'll shoot, or I can shoot today. Right. Sights are right on. I have not moved them a bit. So I might as well try that little bit of cinder over there. I might as well miss it too. There we go. Oh man, that's neat, that brass elevator. It's interesting to see it while it's clean. It will never be that clean and shiny again. You know how brass is. Unless John cleans it up. Let's do a 2-liter here. Make sure, yeah, make sure it'll take out a 2-liter. Oh. How about that one? Oh, a filing cabinet. Who put a filing cabinet on the shooting range? Well, you've probably already seen that video, or maybe you haven't. All right, so she's empty, and you know, we always have new people stumbling in, you know, about 1,000 a day. So let me, while they're busy figuring out how they're going to get back to all the videos and get their homework done, you know, on all the other 1,200 videos, let me quickly remind you, you have this spring here, pull it up, that's how you load it, turn that over there, and you slide them in, and as I was saying before, you don't want too much angle because it's probably not good for them to go, you know, just be dropping them straight down. And it's okay to use gravity, but you don't want to use too much gravity. Okay, just keep an angle there. And just to be safe, you could probably put it on your toe and load them all year long, and nothing would happen. Probably, you know, I don't want to leave it to probably though myself. And you can find the ammo. Now, I don't hand load this stuff because this is really the first firearm I've had in 4440. So I'm probably not going to get into that. As busy as we are, you know, okay, let's launch into another cartridge to hand load and get into all that. I'll just get enough, keep enough to shoot it. And what I was going to say too is if you say you just load it up halfway or something, you don't want to let that spring go flying down there. So that's just something, just ease it down with your hand. So it's a safety precaution. You got your open magazine there. That's one of the negatives of the gun, you know, for use in combat in the Civil War. You get dirt in there, of course, and then also the barrel got really hot because they shot black powder in them. I don't know why they used black powder in the cartridges back then. I guess maybe it's because the only powder they had. Pretty good reason, right? Black powder, even though this isn't all that hot a cartridge, but black powder really heats up a barrel. It's just incredible the difference. It really is. And as you notice, it's basically a pistol round. You know, the Colt single action Army was chambered in the 4440. I think that was the second most popular cartridge chambering in the Colt single action. 45 was first by a landslide from what I've read. And then 4440, 3840 and all that, but it's very popular. And then a lot of folks, when they got the 1873 rifles out there in numbers, and especially the Colt in that chambering became more popular, so your rifle and your handgun were the same, you know, cartridge. Now this was not chambered in 4440 in the day. Again, it was 44 rimfire, hence the hilarious joke you heard at the very beginning of the video, right? There is no 44 rimfire out there to purchase unless you find a couple of rounds at a gun show. I think I saw some at the Civil War show in Franklin last week. You know, they're cartridge collectors, and they'll have like a couple of 3 of them, and they're $75 a piece or something like that. So that would make it very expensive. And then also, to follow up on my joke, if you do see one of these at a gun show, a real one from the 1860s, my guess is the iron frame ones probably start at about 100,000, because the brass frame ones, the original ones, they run 30, 40, 70,000, you know, the prices you see on them. So these, they may even be 200,000, I don't know. There just aren't many of them found. Not many of them in existence. They're like real estate. Speaking of real estate, let's shoot some of that paper. All right, got some red. Get some more red. All right, we'll just leave it with 2 bullseyes. Now let's shoot the caps too. Shoot the caps off. There we go. It's an accurate little gun. Woo, nice. New Jersey assault rifle. You know, it sort of is. I shouldn't be shooting it so fast. They're liable to run Henry repeating arms out of New Jersey. All right, let's just pop a pig or something over there. You know, that's one of the negatives of this rifle. It's hard to miss with it. Okay, so just be aware of that. I'll put a few more in. I don't want to keep you too long, but this is such a cool rifle, and we are glad to have it. I guess we sort of take advantage of the reputation that we have for these classic guns. So, I mean, I just love them, as you know, and I guess from the very early days of doing the videos, you know, one of my favorite days are when I'm bringing out something like this, and I like them all, but these things are so special, and I've read about them. I've studied them to some extent. I've observed them most of my life, and I just really like them. I just really do. And so I guess it's no surprise we get contacted when somebody has something like this. This is just so neat. All right. It's not, like I was saying earlier, it's really not a very hot cartridge. It's a pistol round, basically. And you can sort of tell even from home, because notice how long it takes it to get to the gong. See? Let's try a ram. Probably won't knock it over. Yep, have to eat my words. Let's try another turkey or two. I didn't knock him over. I think I shoot the edge of it. I'll try. This thing is so easy to shoot well. Oh well. I think I turned him a little more. Okay, let's try a broad face one here. Well, I got to shoot the cowboy. I mean, it's a Wild West gun. I'm gonna shoot his hat. Shoot a plate. Boom. Let's don't shoot a plate. Oh man. I don't know what it is about guns like this that make them easy to shoot well. Part of it is the low recoil. Sights, of course, always make a difference. But you've probably had that experience where you could be shooting the same gun chambered in 44 Magnum, and the same gun in 22, let's say, if someone made a gun exactly the same weight and size. And we just tend to shoot them better when there's no recoil at all, if it has a good trigger. We all think we're impervious to recoil, but I think it actually does make some difference. You're just less likely to flinch. And that's what makes these pistol caliber rifles, in any variation, whether it's an AR style gun or one of these, just fun to shoot, because they're just so easy to shoot well. They really are. Of course, not to take anything away from the firearm's accuracy, its inherent accuracy and ability to put bullets where they are pointed, where the gun's pointed, right? So can I shoot just a couple more? Let's do just a couple more. All right. I'm gonna try it. I've got a little bit left over from what was this, MagTech, I think. Shoot a couple of those. Yeah, I think they're about the same. It's actually fun to load. Now, if I were in battle in the Civil War, and now we've talked about that a lot, you know, some of the other Henry videos, but you know, a certain number of these were used in the Civil War, the Henry rifle. Everybody wasn't lucky enough to have one, of course. And the ammo was at a premium and all that, but it goes back to 1860. And that's what it is, the 1860 Henry. So it's old technology, but it's one of the prettiest assault rifles I've ever seen. All right, let's take a couple more shots here. Uh-oh, I missed. Those turkeys are, they're contrary, they're heavy. Woo! But they die impressively. Uh-oh, now they missed. Beep, plop. Well, let's take one more ram. Boom. Well, maybe it hits harder than I think. Let's try that little plate again. Oh no, let's try the chicken. I see a chicken up there. Oh man. Let's just go home. Click. There's another one, Mr. Cowboy. Click. Put the last one on the cowboy. He's a desperado, so that's appropriate. So anyway, the iron frame Henry from Henry Repeating Arms, pretty cool. And as far as, and that's another thing, I tend not to find negatives on a firearm. I just love an old historical gun like this. Gosh, everything is to the positive. There's the fit and finish is not 100% on this one, I'll have to say. It's not as good as the other one, but it's not bad. And it's got some pretty wood in the stock. The stock may not be quite as pretty, I don't know. You know, like I say, there's no competition. I mean, the thing is just a really nice copy of what was made back in the day, and so pleased that somebody's doing it. The iron frame, you know, and the case hardening looks pretty good. Look back here, there's no cigar in this one. Yeah, that one was empty. So it's just kind of a preference. If you're going to ever be in the market for a Henry rifle, I would highly recommend it. You know, whether this or the Uberti or Henry Repeating Arms or Uberti or a Henry, they're the only two companies that make them as far as I'm aware of. And in all objectivity, I've had the Uberti and these, and these are nicer than the Uberti. The Uberti is nice. But these take it up to another level, okay? But either one will do. They're both expensive. They're all expensive because of the work that goes into making something like this. It just the barrel, you know, and the magazine are one piece. You know, we've talked about that in the other videos. So there's just a lot that goes into making something like this. That's one reason everybody doesn't make them. So, but I'm glad somebody does. So the iron frame Henry. Pretty cool. Life is good. We'd like to thank one of our sponsors, SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. SDI has fully accredited distance learning programs where you can get certified in gunsmithing or even an associate's degree in firearms technology. Of course, the study includes hands-on experience, which is important, of course. So check it out. Go to sdi.edu or just click on the link in the description. Okay? And also, we'd like to remind you to check out the Hickok 45 Facebook page and the Hickok 45 and Son channel and its Facebook page, as well as Gun Culture Radio on iTunes. Now remember all this, because I'm coming to your house randomly over the next year or two to give you a quiz on it, okay? Thank you.